by reading excerpts from what I thought was a very interesting eyewitness account by J. Michael Waller. He is a senior analyst for a strategy at the Center of Security Policy. His areas of concentration include political and psychological warfare and subversion. He's a former professor and instructor at the Institute of World Politics at the Naval Postgraduate School. He's a current lecturer at the John F. Kennedy School of Special Warfare Center at Fort Bragg. He wrote this piece titled, "I Saw Provocateurs at the Capitol Riot on January 6th. And he basically arrived on scene about 11:30 from Union Station. And I'll just start reading. At about 11:30, I walked from near Union Station and noticed a small number of Capitol Police dressed in full riot gear with shin guards and shoulder guards. Then I walked up Pennsylvania Avenue toward an empty Freedom Park. He noticed that the speech had broken up, and so a crowd was walking down Constitution Avenue. He joined them at 13th Street. But he said the mood of the crowd was positive and festive. Of the thousands of people I passed or who passed me along Constitution Avenue, some were indignant and contemptuous of Congress, but not one appeared angry or incited to riot. Many of the marchers were families with small children. Many were elderly, overweight, or just plain tired or frail, traits not typically attributed to the riot-prone. Many wore pro-police shirts or carried pro-police black and blue flags. Although the crowd represented a broad cross-section of Americans, mostly working class by their appearance and manner of speech, some people stood out. A very few didn't share the jovial, friendly, earnest demeanor of the great majority. Some obviously didn't fit in, and he describes four different types of people: plainclothes militants, agents provocateurs, fake Trump protesters, and then disciplined, uniformed column of attackers. I think these are the people that probably planned this. He goes on, the D.C. Metropolitan Police were their usual professionally detached selves, standing on curbs or at street crossings and exchanging an occasional greeting from marchers. When we crossed First Street Northwest to enter the Capitol grounds where the Capitol Police had jurisdiction, I noticed no police at all. Several marchers expressed surprise. The openness seemed like a courtesy gesture from Congress, which controls security. That appearance of low threat level made no sense. Yet no Capitol Police appeared anywhere from what we could see. Now, again, I'm taking these excerpts in order, but there's a lot more to this piece. What looked like tens or even hundreds of thousands of people surged down the avenues as far as one can see, but almost everyone seemed talkative and happy. No police could be seen on the platform for now. No police could be seen anywhere. People kept surging in from Constitutional Avenue, and the plaza quickly filled up and overflowed onto the lawn. Everyone squeezed closer and closer together, with most in high spirits. Some trouble began up in the front, near the base of the inaugural platform itself, but we could not see what was happening. Then something happened at the front of the crowd. It seemed like a scuffle, but from 40 feet back, I couldn't see. People started chanting USA, USA, and other slogans. For a few seconds, I saw what looked like police in a tussle with some of the marchers up front, what appeared to be an organized group in civilian clothes. This organized group are the cell I would call the plainclothes militants that fit right in with MAGA people. Suddenly, energy surged from the front of the crowd as the anti-riot police, above on the inaugural platform, visibly tensed up. One fired a tear gas canister, not at the plainclothes militants at the front line, but into the crowd itself. Then another. Flash grenades went off in the middle of the crowd. The tear gas changed the crowd's demeanor. There was an air of disbelief as people realized that the police whom they supported were firing on them. "What are you doing? We support you," someone yelled. All of a sudden, pro-police people felt the police were attacking them, and they didn't know why. More tear gas. A canister struck a girl in the face, drawing blood. The pro-police crowd went from disbelief and confusion to anger. I'll stop there. The last 5 pages is titled, "Provocateurs Turn Unsuspecting Marchers into an Invading Mob." So I'd really recommend everybody in the committee read this account, and I've asked that it be entered into the record. But Chief Sund, I want to ask you, is one of the House managers made a big deal that this was predictable, this was foreseeable, which I don't believe. Do you believe that what happened, the breach of the Capitol, did you believe that's foreseeable and predictable?
No, I don't, nor do, if you look at some of our other partner agencies, I think Acting Chief Conte actually made the statement that a breach of the Capitol was not something anybody anticipated, nor do I think some of our federal partners expected it. I don't think Secret Service would have brought up the vice president if they expected it.
Is part of that because of what you'd experienced in the past? What this Mr. Waller experiences, the vast majority of Trump supporters are pro-law enforcement, and the last thing they would do is violate the law?
I will say that information I've received from some of my officers where they were trying to prevent people from coming into the building, and people were showing up saying, hey, we're police, let us through, and still wanting to violate the law to get inside the building. So,
Some strange things I observed at the protest yesterday, and things I subsequently found in the background of my photos and videos. This could all be nothing, but I think significant enough to get some more eyes on them. I watched this plainclothes, no MAGA gear like most guy go around and methodically cut down all the fences and pull out their posts by himself. Maybe he's just helpful. I first saw him doing it near the two porta potties to the right of the Capitol building, as the South Korean and Japanese parade forged its way towards the front. In this clip you'll see him by the platforms near the front tearing down more fences and posts. Mind you, this was before the bulk of the patriots had arrived at the Capitol building. Most were still marching from the rally 1.5 miles away. I moved to the Capitol early. As soon as the parade neared the front line, a flashbang was set off by the guys on the tower, signaling. I get really conspiracy theorist on these two clips, and we also see this group in black. Camera guy walks off by himself. Fence guy then walks by the girl. Seems to tap her, and it looks like a possible exchange. Then fence guy goes right over to camera guy, who is still standing away from the group alone, and they seem to have a possible exchange. But I digress. Ringleader on the tower with a megaphone shouted at the crowd to move forward and get to the front line, damn it, like we are at war. There were at least two people around me with earpieces, talking into clip-on mics. I watched this guy pull up his collar to talk into it a few times. He was very aware of me taking pics with my phone, kept moving, but I caught him behind me with a selfie. And this guy, who caught my eye because he kept blowing a horn and yelling, gesturing, moved forward while he chilled back here out of harm's way. He spent most of his time looking at the crowd, not the building where the action was. Earpiece only on one side, the bleachers to the left of the BLDG, then the center. Both times the victor, same guy, faced the crowd and flapped his arms up and down for cheers from the crowd. They had no fear of being tackled from behind or taken down. In helmets and backpacks worn by the main breachers, and many of those on the command center tower. They don't look overly affected by the cloud of tear gas, do they? I know the gas that was shot into the crowd was real at least. I saw lots of patriots with red eyes and noses escape to the side. I was on to have water poured on their faces. Whether by Trump's supporters gone wild or infiltrators, this was a planned and well-executed situation. It did not happen organically. Also, there was very little security and very little struggle to breach such a high-level building. A couple other oddities worth mention. Who is this guy in the suit that these two corpulent felons are recording up on the Capitol as the push was going on? They were up there with security before their retreat, just filming the crowd with cell phones. All of this could be nothing, guys. Once you're suspicious, everything seems suspicious. I held back from posting all the oddities I witnessed and filmed photographed for fear I was going overboard. But I think this batch needs to be seen by more eyes just in case. And I have to mention, I'm very sensitive to energy, can read people in rooms easily. The energy by the Capitol during the protest was off. My intuition is sending me alarm bells, guys. What happened yesterday was not as it seemed. I've seen it repeatedly in others' pics and videos. I saw it firsthand with MMY on BD Little Eyes. Take it or leave it. What? A lot of beautiful moments too. Though I had to go alone, I met so many awesome people, I never felt scared or alone.
Up on Summit, and one marked state trooper vehicle, 2 black SUVs, there's 3 state trooper vehicles escorted 4 Antifa shuttle buses right here front and center. There was actually 5 vehicles total. There was 3 up front, 2 in the back. They escorted right here, waited for them to get off their buses, and then the state troopers unloaded and took their positions. Watch. There's that guy. He had his lights on. They were coming.
This happened at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th.
They escorted, and each one of those buses are labeled. They're all paid charter buses.
Look at that, bro.
Here's the black SUVs up front, and wait till you see who leads it.
Wow. They freaking brought damn Antifa here.
They escorted them here.
You've
literally.
got to be.
Lights flashing and all.
You've got to be effing kidding me.
Lights flashing.
Patriots, are you guys watching this? You guys share this video, please. You've got to be kidding me. On video.
I watched them do it.
Hell
so hard to maintain.
No, bro.
Civil disturbance units began to redeploy to keep rioters from accessing other areas of the building. I proceeded to the rotunda where I noticed a heavy smoke-like residue and smelled what I believed to be military-grade CS gas, a familiar smell. It was mixed with fire extinguisher spray deployed by rioters.